What's up YouTube, and welcome back to Homebrew Subaru. In this episode I'm going to do a quick how-to video on how to replace a serpentine belt on your Toyota Corolla. First thing is to easily enough just pull on each corner of the cover, and you can pop it right off and pull it right out of the way so that you can see the belt and the adjuster much easier. Looks like I might recommend a valve cover gasket here. Just a little bit of residue. Could be just leaking off from filling, but now it does look like I'm going to be able to manage to get this completely from the top and not have to take the wheel off or the splash guard underneath. If there was an accessory on the back side and the belt kind of went over that direction, I might have to take the wheel off and kind of work in from the wheel well. But it looks like it's completely up in the front. The adjuster for it is right here, and have to let this lower alternator bolt loose so that the alternator can fall in, and then just pull the belt off and replace. Pretty standard and pretty easy. So to get that belt off, we've got to loosen up the alternator, and I'll loosen up the lower bolt first. It's a 14 millimeter. I know the camera angle is kind of bad right now, but wow. The bolts may be tight. I don't think this belt has actually been done before. This car has over 200,000 kilometers. So I can show you the condition of this belt and why we're doing it. Don't need to loosen this lower bolt very much, just enough so it's a couple threads loose. This top bolt here is the actual adjuster. You want to take note of the distance in here, get it relatively close to where it was beforehand. It is always going to be a little bit different with a new belt, and then not all belts are the same. There's a locking bolt here on the side. You want to loosen the locking bolt and then loosen the tensioning bolt. Both of them are 12 millimeter. And this car is so clean that I just turn this adjuster by hand. And then if I kind of move this AC line out of the way just a little bit, you can see how the belt's routed. So it comes down off the alternator, looks like it goes onto the water pump, and then down around that to the AC compressor down on the bottom, and directly over to the crank. This car has electric power steering, so there's no power steering pump to worry about, and there's no actual idlers either. So should be easy enough as just peeling the belt off the top. Might have to undo the adjuster just a little bit more. And then just kind of give it a little jiggle wiggle, and the belt should just come right out of there. I can see a little bit of material falling off of it as I take it out of there. But let's take it over to the bench and have a good look. So like I said, I'm pretty sure this is an original Toyota belt, and I mean original like it's the original belt that came on the car. And this is a 2017 heavily used vehicle. You can see the back side of the belt has actually gotten some tiny stones or something actually impregnated into it. Really kind of ruined the back side of the belt, but it's such a good belt that it's held on this long. And really that's starting to come apart here, the actual lacing coming apart a little bit, but the inside of the belt is usually where most of the damage is, and this belt is no different. There's just complete chunks missing out of it in a couple spots, and lots of stones impregnated into the belt. And some of it is directly out of the belt, the materials they use to create these things now. There's all types of materials put in. It's not just rubber. New replacement belt. Let's go put it back in. Normally when a belt comes out of the sleeve, it has this type of shape to it. I usually try and use this to my advantage. So I will sit the water pump in here, the AC compressor in here, the crank over here, and try and get that top part of it to loop to the alternator. It doesn't generally always work the way you want it to, but if you put it in like that, it will go together much easier. You might scrape up your wrists a little bit doing this way, but if you just take your time and be patient, have some good lighting to make sure you can see the belt is completely on everywhere it needs to be. And I can see down here on the crank, it's not fully on. Not seating all the way on. There we go. We'll check down here on the AC compressor the same. It looks good. Everything else looks good. So I should just be able to get this up onto the alternator. There. I should just be able to tighten this guy all up and we'll be good. Working on a nice clean Toyota is almost as nice as working on a nice clean Subaru. Kind of want to just check the belt tension as you tighten it up. You don't want to be over tight on a new belt. Pretty close to where it was adjusted. Top locking bolt. And the bottom one. So just make sure it's good and tight. And that should be it. Do a quick double check with your light, make sure everything does look good, and then go for a start up. Make sure there's no noise and no problems. Then you can just go ahead and reinstall the engine cover. Gave everything a little bit of a wipe down just to clean it all up. And this one is good to go. So that is a relatively quick and easy belt replacement to do. There's very few components. All of the components are right out in the open and very easy to see. The adjuster is right up on top and not likely to be seized for any reason. It's a classic style adjuster, so it's not like an automatic tensioner where you might come to it and realize, that doesn't feel very good and I have to go get one. There's just so many reasons that Toyota's made this a quick and easy, straightforward job to do. Getting it all back together, I know that belt it could very well last the rest of the car's life. I don't know, there's quite a bit of mileage on it, and the first one lasted as long as it did. So if you're doing this at home in your home garage or in your driveway, just to kind of give you a visual representation of what you might be into, make your life a little bit easier. If you like this video, definitely give it a thumbs up, and if you're new here and you haven't already, please consider hitting that subscribe button for me. Leave your questions and comments further down below, and I'll see you in the next one.